The Spin-off Podcast Network.
This is Kiwi is back for a brand new season with more inspiring kōrero from special guests including rugby player, father and role model TJ Perenara.
My family bring me joy. Rugby brings me joy too, but it's not the same joy as my family brings me.
And global dancer and choreographer Kirsten Dodgen.
For some reason, people think I'm very intimidating.
Listen to the new season of This is Kiwi, brought to you by the Spin-off Podcast Network in collaboration with KiwiBank. Available now wherever you get your podcasts.
Are you curious about how business can be better? I'm Simon Pound, and I host Business is Boring, a podcast where I kōrero with some of the most interesting people in entrepreneurship, commerce, and making things happen. Tune in to Business is Boring every Tuesday, brought to you by the Spin-off Podcast Network in partnership with Spark Business Lab.
What you're about to hear is a very special episode of The Real Pod, featuring just the normal host, but also, at the end of the podcast, the lovely Vanessa, who is the new Apprentice Aotearoa for 2021. Join us as we go on a journey on the night that was the finale viewing party organised by the cast. We were there, so was Vanessa, and now we're all here this morning. Welcome to a very special edition of The Real Pod. My name's Janie. I'm joined by Alex Casey and Duncan Grieve as always. And
we're a lifestyle?
We are, like, not a good lifestyle.
No.
We are
the way we were
lifestyle.
living last night was not right. Rubbing.
It was peak Real Pod lifestyle.
It was so cold.
Okay, let's give some context.
No, I don't want to.
Last night, as a team, for the first time in an extremely long time, we all got into my mum wagon and we headed to Albany Game Over, which is a go-kart venue, basically, for the cast-organised finale viewing party for The Apprentice Aotearoa. Mike with the beard, the auctioneer, reached out and was like, hey, we're having a party tonight, come along. We were like, oh, okay. And we found ourselves in this extremely strange situation. And it was amazing.
We just found ourselves.
We did find ourselves, it's true. We knew people today. I covered it. I basically didn't see a single second of the show because I was so busy running around being Stephen with my camera, just getting all the angles and all the shots for Instagram. So go to the Spin-off Podcast Network Instagram page if you want to catch all the action from last night, or some of it anyway. Definitely not all of it. And I'll save it to a highlight too, so it's there for eternity.
It's an important film.
It's a moment. I've submitted it to Cannes.
Yeah. But just in this giant, freezing cold go-kart / arcade, which we found out because we were kind of late-ish. Yep. The arcade was free. The whole thing was organised, project managed by Ness, the winner, and kind of Kennedy as, what do they call him? Sub PM. So there was balloons, there was a lot of crackling, like more pork crackling than I was anticipating.
Oh, yeah,
we have to do a shout out because Duncan basically wanted to hit the booze, but there was no bar available, but they were like doing samples and then selling some booze, is that right?
No, they weren't selling it. And I was like, I would love to buy a bottle of your booze. And I was like, no, we can't do that. But then she was like, well, I actually technically do have my manager's license, but they wouldn't accept $1 from us. So I think it's called Rhino. They're Rhino wines. They're from South Africa. They're vegan. They're organic. They're a lifestyle. Mm-hmm. So they're this business and they've got these Rhino wines and they also do this like very bougie. So I'm just stealing all of Ness's catchphrases because I'm just basically trying to become it. Seems appropriate. Pork crackling, which also endorsed, if you don't believe us, which you probably do. You shouldn't. Sam Wallace from Coast, he loves it. He just endorsed it off his own bat. I don't know what that's called, but I'm sure it has a name. Now,
what you just heard there was Duncan doing a plug so that we could get some wine last night.
Yeah, got 2 bots on the handshake.
We got 2 bots on the handshake. It all went completely pear-shaped when we opened the first bottle, had a tipple, and then...
Tony,
God, Tony was on it. He was having a good old night.
Tony knows about us, which is frightening. He knows that we call him Trevor.
and also Trent at times.
And kind of, I guess, is some kind of revenge. Did an absolute grift on Duncan and was like, hey man, can I just have this bottle of wine? I'll bring it back in the next ad break and I'll bring you a bottle opener for your other one too. Never saw him again until after the episode.
I went to hunt him during the second ad break following that. And he looked at me and was like, and he held up the empty bottle and was like, oh, as soon as I brought it down, everyone wanted some. And he gave me this, it reminded me, I went back to being 11 years old, going down to the, what are now the Event Cinemas Newmarket. This dude came up to me and he was like, hey man, can I borrow $5? And I was like, I feel like you're my bully and you're not going to give it back, but I also just really want to be liked by you. And I gave him the $5 and he said, no, I'm definitely going to give it back. And then next day at school he was like, I'm not giving you that $5 back, you idiot. Don't you understand how this works? And that was the look. I hadn't seen that look in 30 years. And then Tony gave it to me come on, man, you know how this works.
The best bit is, I followed with a camera on this. So again, that's in the highlights from last night on Instagram. There was actually, if you watch it back, it almost looks like Tony completely doesn't know who you are. It's like he's never seen you before. And he's like, who are you? What do you want?
This crazed fan.
But it ended with a lovely head scratch. I don't know if you clocked that as it happened. Yeah, he gave you a lovely head scratch and he also gave you a kiss at the end of the night.
Did he?
Yeah, I got that on camera too.
Meanwhile,
nice.
I said as a joke, great to see you, Trevor. And he said, get in the bin, bitch. In a jokey, kind of jovial, kind of matesy way.
Yeah. But also a little edge.
Little edge.
I mean, I do feel like he probably is not remembering any of it this morning.
No, he
it was a
definitely-
night to celebrate.
He told everyone, he said get in the bin a couple of times.
He also sort of teased that he might be on another reality television production in a different country, potentially one that we've got a kind of quite a rickety old bubble with. So
Yes.
Tony, you haven't seen the last of Tony or Trevor or Trent, for that matter.
Well, what we can tell you is it's not The Bachelor, it's not Married at First Sight, and it's not Deal or No Deal.
And it's probably not Celebrity Big Brother or
No.
I'm a Celebrity Getting Out of
Or
Here.
Who Dares Wins.
Which
Which
he
was
had
a
not
hot
heard of.
reference that Duncan dropped.
Why did I do that? I had a real shame, like a profound shame attack after saying that.
Have you guys watched any of the Insta coverage from the contestants of last night?
Nope.
No.
Okay, so when we got there, as Alex mentioned, slightly late, we didn't realise that all the food and good stuff was up on the mezzanine. And by the time we got up there, it had been
Ravaged.
absolutely ravaged. I mean,
bleak.
there were scraps and crumbs and half-eaten things, and I covered that on the Instagram. And it made it look like maybe not so cool. But when you look at the contestants' coverage from when they first arrived, it was actually like there was some amazing food and treats, and we duffed it so bad.
We real potted it.
We totally real
We're a
potted
verb.
it.
The bleakness of us rifling through the platters, picking up a sticky lollipop that's stuck on the tablecloth was a horror. We
So
did get
good.
some nice branded OMGNESS cookies though,
Yeah.
which I believe Duncan has
I kept one
for
for
the
the
Real
museum.
Pod Museum.
Also, you got to try Stephen's now rebranded Rude Health Coffee.
The Rude Coffee. So he was running a customer survey upstairs as well, where he had two, the A and the B. I don't know what the difference was. Didn't read the materials, and there was no water left. So Duncan and I just kind of gummed it, rubbed the coffee on our gums, and then just kind of walked around with brown teeth, probably.
To be
the
clear,
rest
that
of
was
the
your
night.
bad idea.
I stand by it.
We are so bad at our jobs. You
Nightmare.
know, we are extremely bad, and we are cornies, and we're sorry in some. But
Correct.
I can't stress enough how wild it is that Ness and Stephen did not know who'd won.
Oh my God. And I don't think I'll be able to think about Stephen in that moment without welling up. Maybe he didn't want it, but he seemed to want it. I gave him quite an intense pep talk afterwards because the guy was ashen. He was done.
Yeah, he wasn't even in that position where he was like, okay, if I lose, I'm going to put on a break. Maybe he planned to, but then when it actually hit, we got the moment again on the Insta stories. We got the moment where it was announced and the room erupted and everyone piled on Ness, and Stephen's just sitting there next to her, and there's just maybe 2 or 3 seconds where he just completely disappears into himself. No one is around him, or it's actually really hard to watch. It was
I don't think he had
definitely a
planned to
bittersweet
lose.
night.
Yeah.
No. He did speak very well afterwards, though, and did emphasise pre-order Rude Coffee if you want to support Stephen.
He basically said pre-order Rude Coffee or I'm going out of business.
I'm going to pre-order a lot of Rude Coffee. I believe in it as a product. I think it's a product for me. I can feel right now, I'm 4 coffees deep. I'm peaking. I know what's coming. It's not going to be good. I need some Athenium and some MCL oil just to chill me out a bit.
I have a question. Rude Coffee. Does the nootropic element prevent coffee poos? Does anyone know? Does it help with that?
It's a question for
This question's for
The
Stephen.
ages.
the scientists.
I just feel like that would be a really good selling point.
Well,
I don't think that's possible. I mean, I'm not a scientist, but I'm going to say right now, impossible.
We should probably talk about...
Impossible. Sorry. I want to cry. No.
I regret everything that I've said my whole life. Why stop now?
At least no one's recording it.
So
Talk about the show, because I
Okay.
didn't really see it. So, I you know...
none of us did, but I got up and watched it again this morning. It's a cracking final episode. Like, it really... They stuck the landing on this, what I think we were discussing last night. We'd need to do some proper research and science, but I think it might be. It's definitely a contender for best season of reality TV in New Zealand history. And what they did was they managed that like pivot from it's really funny at the start, and they introduced a few kind of more emotive elements, and they still had that thread of humour in the final episode. But by the end, they were pulling in these huge swelling strings, and I was like feeling it. Like Stephen wept, like they were crying almost constantly in that final episode. And you're like, yeah, fair play. This is very emotional scenes.
When you messaged us this morning, we were like, I just watched it and I wept when Stephen cried. I went in and just watched that bit where he talked about coming from South Invercargill, and I teared up also, even without all the build-up, just that in isolation, that 10 seconds. And the suit, the friend's suit.
I know, the friend's suit. And they're like, the youngest mother, single mum.
Youngest of four.
Youngest of four, never had a mentor. I felt like he was truly bearing his soul. And you're like, there's actually like thousands of New Zealanders out there like that who are on social media trying to be something. And for him to sort of reveal like what, his inner anxieties and pains, it was pain, and it was so beautiful. And that's why I think that moment, because they both deserve to win. They kind of all did. I mean, it's a very corny thing to say, but they... Like that, I think that he felt in that moment with Ness out there shining, like that was it for him. And I just that's the thing I was trying to say to him, because I was like, it just isn't. Like his business it's a good business. He's a great pitch man. I just loved the little dude, and it was very sad.
Look, and as we mentioned last night to, I don't know who it was, one of Stephen's, one of Stephen's mates.
Oh, yeah.
We got into a conversation with one of Stephen's mates, and we were talking about the fact that, I mean, we obviously wish Ness every success. We'll be talking to her on the podcast real soon. We wish her every success. We know she's going to fly. But also, look at, do you remember the dance crew that won Britain's Got Talent? Or do you remember Susan Boyle, who came second?
That's a great point.
That's right. I do remember this conversation.
Stephen, you are Susan Boyle.
There are definitely a bunch of second place getters who Benny Tippany, I don't even think got second.
He got a cokehead.
He got third,
And the old skinny love, I can't even remember her name.
Jackie Thomas.
That one.
Oh, Tom Batchelor. Anyway, it was crazy to be in the room with the people on the show, and they see this play out, and then the episode ends pretty abruptly after that. There's sort of some stock image of the Sky Tower, the credits roll, and then it's straight into Coro. And so the room just plunges straight into the Coro theme song.
And then they turn it off, and then it's silent.
And then it was silent. And someone's life's just changed dramatically for the better. Someone's left there, with their dreams shattered. In a go-kart, fridge in Albany with a Sasquatch. It was the most surreal, crazy thing. And just that it's it's over now. It's over, and I'm so upset.
I'm so upset.
I just think it'll live on. This is, the best read on it is that, unlike every other show where it's like, well, maybe there'll be an Instagram couple for 10 minutes, this one is like, they're all going to be out in the world doing the thing that they were trying to do on screen. Their businesses are real. Like, I was trying to order the products, we've got to order the products, we've got to be there for sales. I'd had a couple of wines. But, it's just like this is the metaverse. Like, they were on TV, then they were in the studio. Now they have to go and build these things. And I think for me, that's really exciting, this idea that we can kind of check in on their journey. So the Apprentice Aotearoa is over. But now the real game begins.
Thanks for keeping the dream alive, Duncan.
This is positive self-talk.
This is why you're a successful businessman. I think we could contra with Ness. Okay, we definitely want some corn-themed decorations. Okay, she says it can be done, right?
A very corny Christmas balloon.
Very corny Christmas. her website needs a little sub-edit. We got people who can do that. If we could do some sub-editing, she gives us some balloons, it's a happy marriage.
It is a very happy marriage. Also, just another thing from the show, which I totally blanked on at the time, because basically any of the exterior shots were just not, the sound wasn't good enough in that giant go-kart arena for you to hear what was going on, so you could only hear that in the studio. But when they talked to, there were two things that were just so funny when they were doing out there, like research in Vic Park. For Rude Coffee, which is at the time called New Coffee, realizing that everyone was reading it as No Coffee was just so funny, just so unbelievably funny. Like it kind of broke me. And then they stopped these two women with strollers, and they're like, "Hey, well, what do you think of this product?" And this woman just looks and goes, "That looks kind of like an adult website." And then as soon as you say it, you can't unsee it. Everything about it just screams peaches and cream out the back of it. God, it was a good episode.
Out the back of it, you say? Sorry. Rude pod. This is truly the Rude pod.
It really
Coffee.
is. Sponsorship? Contra?
I mean,
please show us Rude.
I think he might need sponsorship just
Yeah,
a minute.
maybe we could. Should we sponsor? Is that a thing that?
I don't know.
We don't
have
how that works.
Metaverse.
We haven't got any money ourselves. What are you talking about?
$25 for 10 sachets. That could keep us going for a while.
Like 3 pods. We've got to spend money on Nootropic coffee to make money. I think that's how business works.
Okay. And we obviously have the tagline already. Rude. I'll show you rude.
That might have been copyrighted.
Well, if not, we'll just quickly whack one down, copyright, the real
Whack
pod.
one down. Rude.
2021. Okay, we're going to talk to Ness. Ness is here. We've had word from the outside that she's here. She's waiting to come in and talk to us. So the winner of the Apprentice Aotearoa for 2021 is about to grace us with her presence. Let's not fuck it up, guys, okay?
We on.
Kia ora. If it's your dream to come and work at the Spin-Off or our sister company Daylight Creative, then listen up. The Spin-Off is on the hunt for our next editor of The Bulletin, our flagship morning newsletter. We want someone who's a proud news freak, someone who knows how to sift through the headlines and pluck out the most essential stories of the day and then explain them to a time-poor audience. If this sounds like you, get your application in before July the 25th. If you're passionate about creating meaningful, impactful work that makes a difference, then you'll want to be part of the Daylight Creative crew. We're after 2 new members to join our client service team. We're looking for a full-time account manager and a contract account director to look after our amazing client base. Applications for these 2 roles close on August the 2nd. Go to thespinoff.co.nz/spinoffjobs for more information or to apply. Kia ora, Ness.
Kia ora.
Congratulations.
Winner. Hey, you're speaking to the Apprentice Aotearoa.
Amazing. We'll talk about your journey in just a sec, but first of all, can we just talk about last night?
I know, it was so good to see you guys. I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my God, where are they? The Spin-Off team.
Oh, thank you for having us.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for sharing that moment. Like, I'm still vibing off, last night and the energy and the team, my family, friends, and
it was such an intense moment, right? Like, especially because, like, to be sitting alongside Steve, you didn't know, right?
Yeah.
That just having your lives kind of sliding towards change in that moment.
And you guys literally I've seen your video on Instagram. You guys captured it. You captured that moment. And I was like, whoa, we got it on camera. Like, it was real. Like, that was intense. Like, it was beautiful.
That's the thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like not enough people realise that you found out at the same time as the rest of the nation.
Yep.
And people will be like, how has that happened when obviously there was you winning? They recorded 2 endings, which is quite a common thing to do in reality TV competitions.
Yeah, I totally get it now. Like, it was, to save the show, to be honest. I'm glad I didn't know, because honestly, if that was on me and I accidentally told someone, it's over. It's the tape.
I feel like you couldn't keep it in either.
Yeah, but no, it was done so authentically. Like, that was my real reaction. Like, I actually didn't, I was like, what? Does that mean that was real? Like, and I get how they did that now. And I love that we redid that again last night. Like, I got to do that twice, and it was, it's still really, really buzzy. But love you, Stephen. We on.
Oh. How's the Stephen though, right?
I felt him. Like, I just kept looking at him like we're good.
He was crushed afterwards.
I know. I think it was a lot. I think just like, especially being, at an event and everyone's there and you're with cast, and, we were like, this is a moment for us, and we find out there and then, but we're on. I think we just needed to process it. I still haven't even processed it. I've got my phone's going off. Like,
Have you slept?
I've had about 3 or 4 hours, but this is so like the normal for me, mum life.
I can't handle how good you look for 3 or 4 hours.
Phenomenal. Are my lips still alright? Like,
your lips are
Can we talk about the eyelashes for a moment? The people at home cannot see, but oh my goodness.
I know, they're bougie. Ellen. I've been doing lashes for, lashes just make me feel good. And when I feel good, then I look good, feel good. She does all the things. I get it done, and we win the Apprentice. We all. Lashes are part of my life. I can't I'm for real. Don't mess with my time, money, or lashes. I think that's what they had on my little Apprentice thing. But it's true. If anyone gets in my lash appointment, I can't get through tomorrow. So dramatic.
Last night when Mike was addressing the crowd, he mentioned that it doesn't necessarily come across on screen due to all the editing, of course, but that this was, for you guys, just such an intense and really kind of personal journey for each and every contestant, and obviously for you and Stephen more than anyone. What is it that you want to let people know about your time on The Apprentice that you think they won't know?
Basically, so for me, we're really out of our comfort zone. We walked in there kind of, I'd never watched the show before. I'd never watched The Apprentice. I should have done my homework, but I didn't have the time. I was literally trying to hand over my business. But I'm glad I didn't, because that was all me out of my comfort zone. And, you're separated from your families and friends and everything that empowers you and hypes you up. So at the end of the day, you only got yourself. You're away from your phone, which was, for me, hard. I was fully addicted to my phone and didn't realise how addicted I am. And
so no access to social media, nothing?
Nothing. I had to hand over everything, my whole life. I even had to be like, hi, bank, you need to hand over everything to my dad because I'm about to go on a reality show. Kind of thing. But it was, I wasn't allowed to tell anyone where I was. So I just told everyone I was at a rehab. I got people what is she doing? I'm not lying, but it's social media rehab. That's why I disappeared. And then I got to come back and I was jokes, I was on The Apprentice. So
it's amazing. Do you know what some of the other contestants told their families and friends?
Someone on holiday. I think they were able to disappear. I think Kennedy said he was in Queenstown, but I don't know how long they lasted him. Because we were all on social media and suddenly disappear and. Yeah, but I don't think people picked up too much because, it was kind of that boom, that release day, and you see who was on The Apprentice, and then they're oh, okay. But you get the ones who try to figure out how long you're gone for.
Yeah.
So I'm just stop being nosy, just watch the show, okay?
So when you're on the show, you are lighting up the room. You've just a ball of confidence and energy, and it's so infectious. But on some level, it would be inhuman not to have doubts, and you come into that situation and there's everyone else there because they believe, is there because they got cast too. At what point did you sort of start to think, I could maybe take this thing?
So I had that attitude walking in first day. I'm about to win it. This is on. Here I am. Everyone know who I am. OMGNESS, let's get it. And then it kind of you're in there and challenge after challenge, and then they're feeling the pressure. You're just. Out of your comfort zone, no phone, no friends. You've got to make friends with your competition. We become family. Then you're working together. And then they switch your teams. So, when the girls and the boys had to switch, it was all hush-hush. I don't want anyone to know what we're working on because we're, actual working. And then, then the competition starts to really, kick in. And, and then for me, I'm confident. I got it in the bag. I love myself, all good. But a lot, especially the last, last 5 episodes, that was me oh my God, how am I going to do this? I'm getting fired. I'm getting fired. That real, the self negative talk. I was hadn't heard those voices before. Who's that in my head? I had to really hype myself up, and we had therapy in there, so I definitely reached out to therapy because I'm like, I don't want to project my shit on anyone else, but yeah, we on. And yeah, you really, at the end of the day, have yourself, and I really battled through. There were a lot, like, those boardrooms were scary.
Oh my
yeah, because Cassie was in on the podcast previously, and she told us that the cameras were all behind, like,
the windows.
So the boardroom environment really feels like an actual boardroom.
And, like, you're sitting there and your hands are shaking. And then I'm, like, trying to, like, look good for every angle.
Can we talk about the receptionist outside?
Oh, Ignacio.
Do you speak to Ignacio?
Yeah, his name's Ignacio. Hey. He's so great.
Do you speak to him in any kind of professional capacity?
Yeah, he was like part of the team. Like, he was part of production. We'd see him every day. Like, it was cool. Like, we were all like great. And I hear like he had his like kind of role of the typing. I was like, hey, messaging boy.
Was it plugged in?
I've got no phone. I need to reach out.
Was he part of the crew?
Yeah, he was.
And then come boardroom day,
yeah, he
whipped
had,
on
he
the
had
suit.
lots of roles. He had all the things. He was like, oh my God, it was really a lifestyle. We had like, people doing things for us, driving us around. Like, we were like top secret little babies. I loved it. I milked every moment, and I got home and I was like, wait, where's my catering?
I was going to say, from being looked after to going back to children.
To real life, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well, I was lucky enough, oh my God, that last episode, I'm triggered. It reminds me of that day. But when it all packed up, it was actually real sad after when you see the production taking everything out of the house, like it was all packed down. But they were driving me home, and they were like, oh, Vanessa, we just have to stop off at to pick up a key. And I was like, why? Like, can you just not take me home? I want to see my kids. And I pulled into the Park Hyatt, and I was like triggered because I was just there at top 3, remembering those interviews. And I looked over, it was my partner, and I just like ran out. I was like, they surprised me. Yeah, I know. So I had like 3 days to, 2 nights actually, which is huge. We never get time together. I got to unwind, and I'm glad I did, because it was a real emotional journey. And then I got to go home and see my kids and be like,
refreshed.
Hi, I'm going to post up the video of me coming home. It's so beautiful of me and my kids. I've literally like bawling my eyes out. I love that. I'm making everyone cry.
It was such an emo show in the end. It was like both real funny and real emo. It's a hard balance to get. Hey, just speaking of those Park Hyatt interviews where they kind of went quite hard on your plan and your financials and so on.
Oh my God.
Like, I felt at times like that was a bit unfair, because your business is going. It's like off and running, and it's really successful by any metric. And it just kind of irked me a bit, the sense of like these, a couple of them quite old white dudes just telling you, this young woman of colour, like how to run your business. But the business is running. Like, how did that feel for you?
So for me, to be honest, that business plan, 69 pages, whatever it was, 67. I was like so hyped to get that. That was actually my goal. Like, I obviously wanted to win it, but I just wanted someone to look at it, because I'd never done one before, and I didn't realise I had to do a business plan. And I did the business plan the day before I went to the house, so naughty.
67 pages the day before is actually commendable.
I how to do it. Like, I don't know anything. Like, I just winged it. I just tried, and I loved it. And there was so much cool parts of it. There were typos. Love that. But then there were all the plans. It was like a 5-year plan of where I want my brand to be, right? The rebrand and things. So when they were like picking me apart, like, I was like slowly like dying on my seat. Like, but I carried myself well, and I think I just nodded my head. But I die when I watch it back, especially. But I learned so much. Like, the feedback I got from that, I'm so grateful, because I took that into the finals and into my pitch, and it saved me. Like, it literally taught me so much in business, and everything that I did, it said in that pitch, I've been doing while the show's been airing. So I was able to launch my DIY balloon boxes last night.
Amazing.
So it was a learning curve, and it was hard, but, I'm so grateful, because it actually just shows, like, that's me. That's why I'm sure there's going to be so many other people that can relate. Like, they asked me what I want to do with the money, and I'm like, I don't know, buy a van. Like, legit, that's actually what I was going to do.
Okay. We're running out of time, but I've got 2 key questions for you. And on the van, one of them is, have you looked into what kind of van you're going to get? we're quite invested in the van.
Ford Transit would be maybe they've got the high tops so I can fit more balloons.
Yes.
But I really want a Mercedes because I'm a British bitch.
I know, because those black Mercedes vans, I feel like they could just break one off for you.
I know,
you
and
know?
I was like, in a Mercedes van, like literally every, like on the show, I'm like, surely I can
You
manifest
got to
one.
hustle. That's
I
just
can
your
see like
thing.
the black and then the pink and Mercedes, if you're listening to this, you gal, we on.
Take Mike with you. He'll sort it on a handshake.
Surely.
We have a huge Mercedes listenership, actually. Stay tuned.
My second question for you is more of a statement, really. The moment where I felt like you had won the show was my favourite moment of the entire season. When Stephen ran over the plaque at Our Homestead. And you saved that moment because had you not come in there and hyped him up, that challenge would have been over for you guys.
No, I just so remember looking over. I thought he hurt himself. I was like, oh my God.
He did. His soul
was broken at that
And he's
point.
like, it's black. And I'm like, that's fine, we can fix it. All good. I know how to fix it. It's like $10. I don't know. I just said anything just to get him back on.
Yeah.
I don't know, that's just what I do. It's my nature. That's how I lead. And that's what that's me. That's why I want it.
It's a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle. And that's where the team, came in. It was beautiful. Love you, Stephen.
I want to ask you about copywriting your catchphrases.
I know. I need to do that. How do I do that?
We got an IP lawyer. I'll introduce you.
It's a lifestyle. It's really permeated the culture, I think.
Kipiro said it to me. Did you see that on the show? He said it, Vanessa, it's a lifestyle. And I was like, I love that. It suits you. It should be the new Mike Hero.
Honestly, it's just so good to have this newly minted celebrity in New Zealand and it be you with everything that you bring. It's been so great to have you on the show.
Thank you. I love this. If you guys need a new host.
Honestly.
we are quaking.
Jane was late,
I'm quaking.
so...
Very late.
Swap shifts. I love it. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much for coming on to The Real Pod, and thank you so much for just being such an amazing presence on our screens. We have loved this season so very much.
I love that.
Quite emotional that it's over.
Oh my God, we're all friends now.
We're all friends.
Yeah, let's
We're all
just do all the
friends.
things together.
Thank you, Ness, and once more, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you, kia ora. We on. Let's get it.
Kia ora, I'm Alex Casey, Senior Writer at The Spin-Off. We wouldn't exist without the ongoing support of our generous members. If you're able to, you can make a donation at thespinoff.co.nz/donate.
Kia ora e te iwi, Te Aihe Butler here, podcast manager at The Spin-Off. If you enjoy listening to our podcasts, consider supporting our mahi by signing up to become a Spin-Off member at thespinoff.co.nz/donate. The Spin-Off Podcast Network.